Hi, welcome back. In this segment, which is called Reconstruction 1, I'm going to show you the process of reconstructing an argument into the logic bridge format so that the reasoning is clear. We're going to be using a case that happened in Australia, and the name of the case was the Queen versus David Harold Eastman. You can find the decision can be found right here at this web address, and this is a web address that is an article, part of it shown right here, that lays out some of the facts. Kind of the key point was that as it says here, the highest ranking police officer in Australia to be murdered, Assistant Commissioner Colin Winchester, was shot twice in the head at point blank range as he was stepping from his car outside his Deakin home in the ACT at about 9:15 p.m. on January 10th, 1989. Now, this case was used as an example in a fine book written by Andrew Palmer, Proof How to Analyze Evidence in Preparation for Trial. And we're going to take the premises that were extracted and show how they would be put in a logical construction, namely the logic bridge. So, to start out, here's the contention that was made. This is from the case. Eastman was the man who purchased the Clarenbeck rifle on or about 31 December 1989. So that's our conclusion, contention, the claim that's being made. And in court, one line of reasoning was here. On the last two occasions when Eastman had purchased or negotiated to purchase a firearm, it had been a Ruger. And the other reason, as it's called here, Eastman's preferred rifle was a Ruger. So to begin the process, I kind of set up a tray here for your area to work with, and I've moved the conclusion here and the two, what the article calls the two reasons in support of that. And then, on the other half, we put up the logic bridge where we can start constructing the argument in a logical fashion. It's always good to keep in mind that as you get more comfortable with using the logic bridge, more and more you can think of these predicates as stepping stones that connect the front and the back, or the start and the finish of the conclusion. So here we've taken the conclusion and we've put it into the categorical form. Eastman was the man who purchased the Clarenbeck rifle on or about 31 December 1989. And we put it down at the bottom of the logic bridge, right here. Next, we divide it between the subject of the conclusion and down here, the predicate of the conclusion. And then our task is to see what are the stepping stones that will connect this in a logical fashion, looking at what was called the two reasons. Well, the first thing we have to do is when we look at this sentence right here, which says, on the last two occasions when Eastman had purchased or negotiated to purchase a firearm, it had been a Ruger. So if we're going to remember, in the logic bridge, the lines of reasoning begin with the subject of the conclusion. So we know right here that we're going to need to begin the first premise with the statement Eastman. So we take the meaning from this first sentence and we change it to had purchased or negotiated to purchase a Ruger on the last two occasions when purchasing a firearm. And here we do the same thing. Eastman's preferred rifle was a Ruger. We look for the predicate that involves Eastman, and here we have it, preferred a Ruger rifle. Now we can take that first predicate and we place it right up here. So we can see our premise becomes Eastman had purchased or negotiated to purchase a Ruger on the last two occasions when purchasing a firearm. And then we fit the next predicate here, preferred a Ruger rifle. Now we're not going to need the extra space here in the logic bridge because we can see we're going to end up with 1, 2, 3 premises. So we create the linkage, putting the predicate phase of this premise as the subject phrase of the next premise with the universal quantifier. And we do the same right here. So our 3 premises become Eastman had purchased or negotiated to purchase a Ruger on the last 2 occasions when purchasing a firearm. Premise 2, one who had purchased or negotiated to purchase a Ruger on the last 2 occasions when purchasing a firearm preferred a Ruger rifle. Premise 3, one who preferred a Ruger rifle was the man who purchased the Clarenbeck rifle on or about 31 December 1989. Of course, our conclusion here is, so Eastman was the man who purchased the Clarenbeck rifle on or about 31 December 1989. But remember, when we're doing the logic bridge 5 steps, we have to also consider supporting assumptions that might be important. And here, I've concluded that you would have to place the assumption the Clarenbeck rifle was a Ruger for this premise to have any chance of some level of certainty. So now in this example, we've gone through how to reconstruct an argument into the logic bridge so that the premises are arrayed in a fashion that the logic is clear. Now keep in mind, we're not saying that from this that each of the premises are true or not. That's a different question. And of course, as the article said when they were discussing this case, pretty much everything was circumstantial evidence. But this is a way to make clear the line of reasoning in a clear, logical fashion. Thank you.